Hello, Assalamualaikum guys, and welcome back to another video. It's Ibrahim Muslim, and today I'm back with another video on the series of OpenCore and Clover Configurator and how to learn OpenCore. So this is the part 2 of this series, and in this video I will tell you about different aspects of OpenCore and how you can start configuring it, and we will compare it with Clover Configurator. So we have both software on our screen open right up, and you can see. So I'm starting. So if you haven't watched my previous video, you can go back and watch that, but let's start with ACPI and ACPI here. So in the previous video I did explain a little bit about ACPI, and then we went into the Clover EFI folder itself and we discussed different aspects of the EFI folder. So in this video we will discuss different aspects of the Clover configurator itself. So ACPI and ACPI on both of the softwares. In OpenCore we have ACPI section, and in Clover configurator we have ACPI section, but you can see that both of them does not look alike, and OpenCore uses the .aml extensions quite much, but on the other hand the .aml extensions can be added here, but they're automatically loaded, so you just have to mention the order of loading the aml.files. So in OpenCore we use AML files a lot. So let's go to my EFI in which I'm using the OpenCore. So this is .aml file for my power management. This is quite a short file and you can get it on the website, and I will add a lot of different descriptions. So this is the USB-X for desktop, and it includes a lot of different patches. We will simplify this to just one section, and which means we will make it system specific instead of using a generic, which will save a lot of memory and will boost the boot up speed. We also have ssdt.plug. This is also one more file, and we will still in this we provide the OS our CPU ID or the start of our CPU, and in this file we will also make it system specific instead of generic. So making it system specific will means that we will only use one of these options, which means we will only use PR CPU 0 or SP CPU 0. In my case, it's basically SPPR00, and I will tell you in the future why it's that so and how you can find out which one is in your system. Then we have PMC. PMC is also power management, and so this is basically for our controller, memory controller, or you can say different types of controller. Okay, so this is SSDT RX 5700. This is for my graphic card. Okay, so if we open it, I'm going to tell you one main difference what SSD makes. RX 5700 is supported in macOS Catalina 10.15.1 and the latest versions, which means they will load automatically, and you just have to add a little patch, which is basically ADGB mode is equals to Pykira, or I will spell it out in the bottom of the video. So that enables our graphic card and it works out of the box. But there is a big difference. If you provide proper power management to the graphic card, the performance difference is huge. I have tested this on my graphic card, and without this, if I get a Geekbench 4 score of about 1,60,000 or 1,70,000, and if I apply this SSDT, it takes the performance to just like 2,20,000 on metal. And I have tested it like 3-4 times. I removed it, tested it, placed it back and tested it, and it still gives about 30 to 40% performance improvement. That does not mean it enhances the GPU performance. That means it takes out, or it uses the GPU at its full potential. So that's how much helpful .aml or SSDT patches are. Then we have this one. This one is specifically for my gaming SLI motherboard. You cannot use this one. You have to write one for your specific motherboard. But I can provide you a lot of different, and I will try to make a proper generic SSDTs for a lot of systems, because I make Hackintoshes regularly. I have custom made a lot of them for a lot of people and a lot of other motherboards. So I will try to provide them on the YouTube, but I normally provide them on my Patreon for as low as just $1. And it's not for like everything, it's for every file. It's like $1 a month, and you can have a lot of these features for free, and as long as you subscribe you get them. Then this is the USB-X. This is for the power management of the USBs. This can be applied into this, and this helps to system properly sleep and wake and give the USB accurate powers. If we go here, and if I go here, you can see it tells me how much power is the iPhone taking for charged up. It tells me how much power is this Ethernet taking up. So this was not possible. This was not possible in Clover configurator at all. I have been making Hackintoshes from a long time, but Clover was not so precise in power management, and this was never displayed in a Hackintosh which boots with Clover configurator. As long as it's consent to my experience, I was not able to get it. But let's move to the next part. So the next part is booter, and in booter we have very, very important stuff. In our Clover configurator, we have a section which says boot, but booter and boot are not related. Don't confuse them at all. Boot here is basically the NVRAM of OpenCore, and in Clover configurator, it's basically boot. So booter is a completely different thing, which Clover configurator is trying to implement using the quirk center or quirk section of this, but this one and this one are kind of similar, but not that much. So let's go here. You can see we are kind of finding the same settings here. So let's start with avoid runtime defrag is very important for all the Z390s and other systems. This one is basically for, you can say, runtime stuff like clock, NVRAM, different synchronization processes, and I will add the link in the description below where you can read it in detail. But this is really, really important. Devirtualized memo is also one of the most important quirk, and you have to apply that. Devirtualized memo basically allow the OpenCore to interact with the memory more openly, and it allows different patches to work. So devirtualized memory is used with protect UEFI services, and this has to be enabled on Z390 motherboard, otherwise the system will not boot. This is not important. This is not important on Z370 and below, but this is very important on Z390 motherboards. Okay, we have provide custom slide. This basically allows system to have a proper BIOS, to have a proper memory management for the kernel, and it allows a lot of different settings for slide, so you can place the kernel in the memory. This is something normal people will not know until unless they do dig deep inside the Hackintosh. So for this, I will make a proper video in which how to understand memory and how and where the kernel is basically loaded and all the different stuff in another video. So let's make it simple. Or rebuild Apple memory. It sometimes crashes on the laptops, but it is important for system to provide better memory management and to provide or to avoid any crashes on the boot up, and it allows the Apple OS to remanage or rebuild the memory on the UEFI. Then we have runtime sync permissions or runtime permissions. This picks all the other permissions which the system wants from the motherboard on the runtime. And we have a Memo whitelist. So you can read there's patches which are enabled, which are for Haswell and some generic. So if you find out some issues, I will tell them in the description later. So we are here come here in device properties. So this is very beautiful section of OpenCore, which is basically available in Clover configurator. If we go here in devices, so here we can add different device properties and different aspects of devices here. But in OpenCore, it's implemented in a more deep way. So in OpenCore, you have to add everything, and most of the stuff sometimes work and most of the time does not. But in OpenCore, it's quite built in and it works definitely. And you can add addresses to the device or the device location, which is found using IO registry. You can do that way, or you can just go here, list of PCI devices, add all PCI devices. So here are list of different PCI devices. You can add all of them in the PCI configuration, but it is not recommended to add all of them in the PCI configuration because it creates little bit of problems. For example, if I add my GPU here, which is XT 5700 or RX 5700 XT, this one, it basically allows the PCI section to read, but it kind of breaks the graphic card to understand it or to load it properly. So if I do that, my system performance goes down instead of going up, but I can then find this in the PCI section. So I only added the Navi 10 HDMI audio out, but I didn't edit the graphics audio out, but I can still have it in here if I want to add, but I don't know why, but it do reduce the performance. But other stuff is basically improving the speed and compatibility. So let me show you one more example. So if I have this, and where is this? Okay, GPU processes. I have triple monitor setup, so I'm trying to turning my. So this says slot 1 RX 5700 XT. If I apply this kind of confuses the OS, and it says our random Navi GPU 10. Okay, the Navi 10 GPU, and it does not mention slot. So I used, instead of this, I used a more detailed patch, which is basically SSDT patch, this one. So without this patch, system still boots, but performance is low, and it does not know in which slot the graphic card is installed. But with this patch, it knows in which slot graphic card is installed and increases the performance. I hope I'm not confusing stuff a lot, but this all is to give you more detail into the OpenCore and how it basically uses all the different features to give you a far more optimized OS experience. One more thing which I think will be helpful for you is that once you apply all of these, you can basically start with add all PCI devices. I hope this does not crash you. And then you can just leave all of them for which drivers are loaded or driver are installed, and remove these which have no driver installed, because this will kind of confuse the OS instead of helping it out. Okay. Then we have kernel patches. So I have explained 3 of these, and I will explain the rest of them in the next coming videos. So I'm trying to keep the videos short for like 10 to 15 minutes and trying to be as descriptive as I can. I know I make a lot of mistakes, so I hope I do better in the videos. If you have any question, queries, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any advices or any topic you want me to make videos on, let me know that in the comment section below, so I can improve and I can make more content based on your specific requirements. I'm also trying to make other videos on different topics, so let me know if you want my reviews on different applications, softwares, computers, mobile phones. I will try my best to make videos on them and try to help you out in the future. So that's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it, and until the very next video, please take care. Allah Hafiz.